Were the gas prices as high as they are right now? I'm sure he must have had a thought like, hey, maybe I should get an EV. Or at least look into that. And this is coming from someone who lives in Alberta, where EVs are almost illegal. No, I'm just kidding. They're not necessarily cool here, right? So when I've seen this post on Reddit, I was like, okay, guys, we gotta look into this. Let's look into this. Some pretty cool stuff. So here, this user says that he saved $1,900 over 12 months to charge his EV. So let's see, 12 months total charged, 4,700 kilowatt hours. Total cost $653. Okay, driven around 24,000 kilometers. It's a fair bit of driving in a year, but nothing ridiculous per se. Okay, 81% charging at home, DC charging 4%, work 12%, and public is 3%. The tracker app uses monthly average gas price to calculate savings and came out to $1,900. And that was last year. I feel like if you were to do it like a year from now, the number would be even higher. But this is real data from your local Albertan. Oh, I didn't realize he was from Alberta, but okay, cheers. So the gas prices are usually a little bit more reasonable in Alberta too, right? That's not insurance prices. Those are outrageous. But gas prices are, I think, are they the cheapest in Canada? You'd hope so, but who knows? Extra detailed specs for technical people. Electricity plan 6.5 cents per kilowatt hour. Estimated actual 14 cents used in calcs. Insurance is $1,831 per year because it's an EV, right? And driven 70,000 kilometers, EV kilometers so far in 2023 in Alberta. Oh, so far since 2023. Okay, I got a little. Okay. Car is 2023 Model 3 LR all-wheel drive, Shanghai Gigafactory, GNCM battery type. NCM battery is better than LFP battery in Alberta winters. Okay, so I mean this alone, again, and I drive a Honda Civic, so I feel like comparison here is not necessarily fair. I feel like if it was a comparison with a Civic, it would not quite be the same case. Even as a Civic owner, I'm like, oh, this post kind of got me thinking, oh, maybe I should get an EV. I don't even drive that much. I guess I'm just trying to, this whole thing about hyper optimizing everything you do to like save money. And that's one of those things. Anyways, a lot of people were like, it's a pretty popular post, right? 559 upvotes in Personal Finance Canada. It doesn't happen very often. So let's take a look. My commute used to be around 90 kilometers a day. I was spending about $600 a month in petrol. When I switched to EV, it was around $35 a month in electricity, I believe. Insurance did drop as well. I think those savings are enough to justify an EV. I mean, if you're saving, even without the insurance drop, if you're saving $550, I guess it would depend on a couple things. But if you drive this many kilometers a day, and again, this is how gas prices used to be. I think they're higher now. So when he's saying he used to spend $600, that was when gas in Alberta was probably around 120, which it is around about 180, 190 now. So very interesting. So he would have probably been spending more. But let's just say $500 a month. How much is a regular Model 3 Tesla? Okay, so it seems like premium rear-wheel drive is 39,490 CAD, which of course is not going to work for a lot of winters. Might be perfect for Vancouver. But okay, so let's look at this one. Yeah, so performance all-wheel drive starts at 75K. So I wish it was a little bit easier to see the price, but let's take a look. We've got this. So real wheel, we want it to be an all-wheel drive, obviously. Sure, we'll just get everything super basic. Show pricing details. Okay, so that's the price. And of course, there's more stuff, but okay, let's say it's 75K. Awesome. So it's 75K and you'll be saving $500 a month. So let's divide it by that. And 150 a month is, let's see, divided by 12. Let's see how many years. Okay, 12 years. Okay, so it's going to take you 12 and a half years. If you're only saving money by switching to electricity from gas and still driving this much every single day or every business day, whatever. So it will take you about 12 and a half years to break even. And that's not considering that you get any sort of value from the car you're currently driving. You're not going to sell it. You're just going to kind of leave it. And of course, it also doesn't necessarily include how much you're going to pay in interest if you're going to finance your Tesla. But that's still pretty good because, I mean, it's a $75,000 car. And if you actually start saving $500 a month by switching to it, I mean, it's possible that it would actually make sense even with the payment plan, right? Okay, so estimated payment is $927 a month here, $491 APR. I think that's pretty reasonable. I mean, anyway, if you're in a situation like this, interesting, yeah. And yeah, I guess this guy is in Alberta because in Alberta, my insurance dropped a lot. Their reasoning was EVs have fewer parts and will be cheaper to repair. I moved to BC in 2023. My insurance more than doubled due to owning an EV. So very interesting. I didn't actually realize that it's different between provinces. And another little point, I was thinking whether you currently pay for a two-way insurance or just the liability one. Like if you pay liability, theft, collision, or if you just pay the liability one. Because for my Civic, obviously, I love that little guy, but I only pay the liability insurance because, I mean, paying another 100, $200 a month, I feel like it's not really worth it for my car, personally. But if you get a brand new Tesla, for example, it's a no-brainer. So your insurance might actually go up. I feel like that's this assumption that it will go down. Of course, you have to consider what car you've been driving previously and what kind of insurance you had. And so, yeah, I save over $3,000 a year in gas alone. And of course, lots of skeptics like this guy who says neither of you have actually saved anything when accounting for the cost of the EV in the first place, which is a fair point. Again, if you're trying to save $500 a month, you probably shouldn't be spending $75,000 on a Tesla. But this guy, the guy next to him replied like the Kona is actually not bad when it comes to EVs. And let's take a look how much. Okay, so really, a brand new Kona is $32,000. Wow. All right. I actually expected it to be more because it looks really cool. Like it is a Hyundai car, but and of course they're not as renowned for their quality as, for example, Hondas and Toyotas. But that's still very interesting. Let's take a look here because I don't know. I'm being a little hesitant. Okay, because I'm looking at it already and it's already $41,000. So what was this link? Country Hills Hyundai? Yeah, where did they get 30,000? Anyways, it's still considerably like it's a lot cheaper than a Tesla. And it actually is not a bad car. Depending on how much you drive, 90 kilometers a day, you might put a lot of wear on the brand new car. But maybe it's worth it, And yeah, no, you can never save money buying a new car. But if you're buying a new car, the TCO is less on most EVs. And TCO is total cost of ownership, which makes sense. If you do have to get a new car, maybe, I mean, it doesn't have to be a full EV necessarily. It could just be a hybrid, right? Okay. And this guy says we have a cheap 2022 Mac E as our second vehicle, the first one being a newer F-150. Mac E is paid off and cheaper to insure than the truck. We always had two vehicles. Anyway, so why not an EV was the conclusion we came to. I drive 1,000 kilometers a week for work. My truck uses around $250 in gas for that, or $50 a day. The Mac E uses $4 of electricity a day, or $20 a week. $900 a month extra is pretty nice when budgeting these days. When you see numbers like this, you realize, I'm like, can I be saving $900? But of course, these people are outliers who drive really a lot for work, which I do not. But when seeing this, I'm like, I should get an EV as well. I just get so excited for all the savings, even though I should keep in mind that buying a new EV is never the best way to save money. And of course, with BYDs potentially coming to Canada or some Chinese EVs, sure, they're going to have a tariff, but let's see. BYD is officially launching in Canadian market, bringing its line of affordable and high-performance electric vehicles. So that was a big deal a couple months ago. I wonder if I should make a separate video on this because this actually looks really cool. But anyways, with more Chinese EVs potentially entering the market pretty quickly here, it's almost like these prices are not necessarily the bottom, right? Or at least, there's going to be more competition to affordable EVs. It's not just going to be a Hyundai, or it's not just going to be a Toyota, like a low-end Toyotas. It would be very interesting to see what's going to happen, whether it's going to drive prices down or at least like the base trims are actually going to improve versus, the base trim has absolutely nothing. You almost have to like crank up the windows. It doesn't even have automatic like window buttons. So we'll see what happens. But I suspect there is a lot of, and the situation in Iran when gas prices all around the world, I feel like it's really a lot of people are starting to think about EVs. I have not thought about them, but looking at again the gas prices and seeing how it can just double in a matter of a month, it makes you think. And it might not be this year or next year, but maybe next time I have to buy a car, I might go for an EV. And while there is a lot of discussion, I think the main thing is don't buy a new car if you want to save money on gas. Either buy something used or downsize or, just hold on. Maybe the gas prices will drop. I mean, they've been fluctuating so much. I don't even know. Whether you like EVs or you prefer cars with internal combustion engines that run on gas, the point of it is there are more options for people to actually try different things and, find what's best for them. If it happens to be the EV, that's pretty cool. So yeah, what do you think? Has this been a thought in your head, like at any point in the past, let's say 6 months? It doesn't have to be something you think about all the time, but once in a while, I'm like, maybe, which I did not have, like 5 years ago, when I'm like, maybe a hybrid would actually be good. Or maybe I should look into getting a decent EV, And of course, living in a condo, the EV setup is super complicated. It doesn't really make sense. At least this is what I tell myself as a reason why I shouldn't look into getting one. I should just be happy with my Honda Civic. So I'm gonna continue doing that. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.